when I started the process of building an indoor cigar lounge, there was one product that I looked to for air filtration and as an air cleaner, and that's the Rabbit Air. There are plenty of testimonials out there. There's plenty of videos on YouTube, plenty of reviews on Amazon and Reddit and other forums, and that's essentially what I used to come up with the Rabbit Air as the front runner for what I wanted to use in my home cigar lounge. So I wrote the people of Rabbit Air, and they were nice enough to send me a unit, the new A3, to review. And I'm gonna do that review in about 2 weeks. I'm gonna take 2 weeks or so. I'm gonna see how the product does in actually cleaning the air in here. Does it act well as a smoke eater? Does it make it so you can actually smoke in a well-insulated room without having to use anything else like an exhaust fan? I do have an exhaust fan in here, but I'm gonna try it without using that exhaust fan to see if the Rabbit Air makes it so that you can actually have an indoor cigar lounge as long as you insulate the room. So we'll see my full review and what I think about the product a few weeks from now. As for right now, I'm doing an unboxing. If you're gonna spend this much money on the product, you want it to be well packaged, and this was certainly well packaged. As I took it out, there were no real issues. I was able to get it out. I did like the box said. I turned it over and then took it off the unit, and then I just took the styrofoam off and the unit was ready to go. I made sure that I took the wrappers off of the filters, make sure that I took all the wrappers off the unit itself. I replaced the filters back into the holder the way that they're supposed to be laying in there, and there's plenty of directions that tell you exactly how to do that. And then I plugged in the Rabbit Air and I pressed power to see what the air was like in here. And since I had already smoked a few cigars in here, it smells a lot like cigars in here, and that's fine with me. The only issue was there was also a stagnant air in the room because it is well insulated. So I turned the unit on, it gave me 3 lights, meaning that the air in here is not very good. And then I let it run for a little while. I came in here after a few hours, and as a first overview of what I noticed, the cigar smoke smell isn't completely gone, but that stagnant kind of old air mustiness is definitely gone, and the air feels very clean in here now. So that's already a good sign for this unit. So now what I'm gonna do is I've got it in auto mode. I've got it in auto with a high sensitivity. So I'm gonna light a cigar, and we're gonna see right now in real time with this unboxing and first use how the Rabbit Air does in a small 15 by 15 room with cleaning the air. All right, so I've got the cigar lit. The Rabbit Air is set to auto mode on high sensitivity, like I said earlier, and it did kick on. I heard it kick on right away. So now let's see if I can smoke in here without the room getting too smoky, and we'll see if I can have a cigar inside in a well-insulated room without any other air purifier or exhaust fan running other than the Rabbit Air A3. Here we go, first use. So after a few puffs, I have noticed that the air is getting drawn toward the Rabbit Air. The A3 seems to be doing a good job. It's kicked into the 4th. I don't think that's the highest phase, but it's a pretty advanced phase. So far it's looking good. The air feels fine in here. I definitely wouldn't have had a problem with just this amount of a cigar smoked. But like I said, I'll come back in that second third to let you know how the Rabbit Air performed on this first use. All right. And while I'm having my cigar in here, I might as well also have my favorite pairing for a cigar, which is that espresso double shot, espresso and cream, Starbucks espresso and cream premium espresso beverage. I think they changed the name of it. It used to be like double shot or something like that, but this is my favorite for pairing with a cigar. Really, it's just maybe just a drink I like, really. Who knows? That's it. I'm pretty shocked that the smoke is clearing out, is having no problem with this cigar. So far so good with this Rabbit Air A3. All right, so here we are in the second third of this cigar, and I have had no other air filtration, air cleaning, or air exhaust system running other than the Rabbit Air. And it is doing a great job of not only circulating the air in this 225 square foot room, but it's doing a great job of keeping the air clean so that I don't feel like I'm having any issues with secondhand smoke, which is really the thing that I would worry about when smoking a cigar in a room of this size. The room is well insulated, the door is weather stripped, so I'm not worried about the smoke leaving the room. What I'm worried about in this specific layout is about me being able to breathe clean air. Obviously, the air is not going to be super clean if I'm having a cigar in here. And the Rabbit Air actually is telling me that. It's showing me that the air is actually on like an LED 4 level, which is the worst air quality that it displays. So I would expect that to be the case since I am having a cigar in here. But I will say that it's doing a great job, like I said, of circulating the air and of keeping it clean in here so that I'm not having any problems at all with smoke. I'm almost not even really smelling the smoke. And for me, the biggest surprise is that it's doing that. It's circulating the air, it's drawing the smoke to it, and it's pumping out clean air. It's doing all that while putting out way less noise than the exhaust fan that I have in here. So this room was done about a week ago, and in that time, I've been having cigars in here, and I've been using that exhaust fan. And in order for that exhaust fan to draw smoke in the same way that this Rabbit Air is doing it, to draw the same amount, to have the same amount of power drawing the smoke, I gotta set it, because it's in the ceiling, to about a 6 or really a 7. And when it's at that 7, it's really loud. It'd be really hard for me to be in here having a discussion with someone. And while no one's been in here having a cigar with me yet, the reason I say that is because it's hard to hear the TV. I could have the TV up pretty loud, and when that exhaust fan is on a 7, it's kind of hard to hear the TV. This Rabbit Air, it's drawing that smoke in the same way that the exhaust fan would at a level 7. The Rabbit Air is doing it right now. It's drawing that smoke toward it just fine. It's cleaning the air, and it's doing it at about maybe half the noise level of this. I think it's called an Infinity exhaust fan. That exhaust fan I've got is doing it at about half the level. So for me, that's the biggest surprise so far, is that not only is it capable of me sitting in here having a cigar, but it's doing it at a pretty low noise level. It will be easy for me to have a discussion in here right now with that Rabbit Air going. So that's really a big surprise. Both of those things are a huge surprise. I'm in the second half of this, I'm in the second third of this cigar. So it's been about 10, maybe 15 minutes, and this room is fine. You could definitely be in here, not choking, not having any issues. You're definitely smelling smoke because there's a cigar lit, but there's no issue with the air quality as far as I'm concerned. It's definitely drawing the air in, or it's definitely drawing the smoke in, and it's pumping out clean air. So that's what I want, and that's what it's doing. So far, I'm really impressed with it, and I'm even more impressed that it's able to do it at the noise level that it's doing it at, because I thought that exhaust fan was pretty high speed, and it's pretty loud. So this is a much better option. Right now, I'm gonna keep it to where I'm only using the Rabbit Air for this first use with this first cigar that I'm smoking with the Rabbit Air. But in the future, what I think I'm gonna do is maybe try to combine it with the exhaust fan, have the exhaust fan running at maybe a 3 or a 4 where it's real quiet, and the Rabbit Air is doing its thing maybe on the opposite side of the room, and I'll see how that works. But certainly at this point, I would have no issue, I think, with having someone in here with me, talking to them at a regular, noise level, and that A3 not being too loud. Now, if there's 2-3 people in here smoking cigars and it does get too smoky, I could always bump the exhaust fan on and let it run so that it's exhausting the smoke as well. But so far in the second third of this cigar, I'm saying that you could sit easily in this room, 225 square foot, 15 by 15, well insulated walls, weatherproof door, so the smoke's all staying in here. You could easily sit in here and enjoy a cigar without feeling like you're being suffocated with that smoke or any secondhand smoke or anything like that. So far so good. I will be back toward the end of this cigar to tell you my final thoughts on this first use and unboxing. All right, so here we are at the end of that final third of this cigar. And I don't have anything new to say that I didn't already say in the second third update. The unit is doing a really good job of drawing the smoke to it. It's circulating the air in this room and making it so that I can smoke an entire cigar in this 225 square foot room without any problems at all. I'm not choking on any smoke. There's no stagnant smoke in the air at all. It's nice and clean air that I'm breathing in. I'm not having any problems breathing, and I don't feel like I'm taking in an excessive amount of secondhand smoke at all. I'm not surprised that the unit is doing such a good job in here. I did do my research before reaching out to Rabbit Air. Every professional cigar lounge in my area has Rabbit Air units on the walls. If you go to Reddit, Amazon reviews, if you check YouTube videos, people like Jeremy Sires, this unit is the top of the line. It is the premier cigar lounge air purification system. And today, with my unboxing and first use with this entire cigar in this 15 by 15 room, I had the same findings. All right, and wrapping this video up, I'd like to say thank you to the very kind and very professional people at Rabbit Air. I appreciate that you sent out the A3 for me to review. To everybody else, I'll be back in a couple of weeks with my final review and overall thoughts of the unit. And until then, have a good one.